Beach from Kincardine, Ontario, Canada. How's it going, guys?
Awesome. How are you doing, Dave?
Doing really great. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Let's dive right into it. So when and how do you guys form?
Well, there was a venue in town that asked me if I would come play, and I thought that they thought that I had a band, so I made one.
Yeah. And I was living in the house, so I was,
By default, he was
Yeah,
part.
I was part of the band.
He's now in the band
That's
because we live together.
You don't have a choice.
No. Yeah, I was totally forced into it.
Yeah, and then we tried out a couple of drummers, but it turns out my friend Mike, who I've been friends with since high school, turns out he's actually pretty good on a drum kit. He wasn't super experienced when we first asked him to drum for us, but he was like, I've got this. I will learn. I will kind of polish things up a little bit.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been a really fun ride. It really helps when you like your bandmates.
Definitely helps a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys just dropped a new song, Stop and Stare. How's the response been to it?
Well, it's only been since Friday, so what's that, 4 days?
Yeah.
4 days. We've had a lot of people sharing it on social media, which is fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lyric video on Facebook that seems to be doing really well as well.
Yeah, it's got a couple thousand views on it right now.
It does, and
Yeah.
and a whole bunch of shares.
Yeah,
So
so that's good. And I mean, the streaming numbers, they don't come in until about a week after release, so we haven't seen any of that yet. But it's I mean, it's a song about being yourself and not caring what anybody else thinks. So we think that message is going to resonate. It seems to be so.
it does. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen some comments actually coming in about specific lyrics in the song, and somebody saying like, "Wow, this is like I liked the song before because we play it live,
Mhm.
but we've officially released it, so we've played it live before, and of course it's a little harder to follow along with the words when you don't really know the song. So since the release and since that lyric video, yeah, some people have been like, wow, that really resonates with me. Like I liked the song before, but now I like it even more. So that's just so cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So who do you guys record it with, and how was the process?
That's me. I'm our producer, and I went to school for audio production in college, and got a studio down here. We're in the basement right now, so everything that we record, I record, edit, mix, master sometimes in the space down here.
You're a jack of all trades.
Pretty much.
Do a little bit of everything. I'm super jealous.
Well,
Yeah,
it
she's
takes
super talented.
it takes time, and I don't know. I've just always loved music. I started out singing, and then I learned different instruments, and then as a teen, I started writing. I took some poems that I had created, and I thought I'm going to put music to these and see how I do. And then I started writing songs for myself as a solo artist. But sorry, before that, I had a high school band that I was also helping to write for. And then, yeah, fast forward, and I have Boiler Beach now.
Yeah.
And so I'm our primary songwriter in the band as well.
Yes, primary songwriter, producer, lead vocalist, guitar, bass, keys, various instruments, accordion, etc.
On
Oh, yeah.
occasion.
Oh yeah.
On occasion.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Just
She
about.
doesn't really need me.
Just need a looping pedal.
Yeah, a looping pedal.
But
He's
it's
also
more
a merch person too.
Yeah, merch person. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I never knew I'd own a t-shirt store, but oh boy.
Yeah. It's a glorified we're a glorified t-shirt shop.
That's right. Yeah. With really good jingles.
The important stuff. I love it. So you guys are from Kincardine, Ontario, Canada. How's the alternative, the punk rock scene there? Do you guys have a favorite local band, a favorite venue?
Well, the alternative scene is growing, not so
Yeah.
much in Kincardine per se. We do have another local band that's really quite good alternative rock called 21 and 9. That's the major intersection in town, 21 and 9.
Yeah.
And they're really, really good. They're a good bunch of guys. We shared the stage with them a few times,
Mhm.
but all up and down the coastline here, there's all sorts of little towns, and our closest kind of largish city is called Owen Sound. And there's a couple of bands out that way that we have collaborated with and done live shows with that are really good, like Fall Down 7 and Carbon Dallas. And then, you know, we get into the different scenes, London, Hamilton, Kitchener, all around there. And then you start seeing all sorts of different acts that run the entire range of, you know, from hardcore and metalcore and punk and like traditional 70s style punk to 90s style punk to emo to screamo. Like there's all sorts of stuff out there.
And rap too.
And rap
We
and
touched there,
hip hop.
about
And
rap. Yeah.
yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that we're lucky to be working with.
And country too.
And country, yeah, we have
Yeah.
some. So, well, in this area, country and blues is really the major scene.
Yeah.
So we stand out a little bit, which is nice. It's a bit of an advantage for us in this area, because if you're not really into country or blues, then we're your entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a big advantage, and I mean the big venues here, I would say the Harb in Owen Sound,
Mhm.
the Heartwood in Owen Sound.
Sure.
And then there's all sorts of smaller places like 200 or 100 person restaurants, basic restaurant bars like the Queens in Port Elgin, the Dunes in Sauble Beach,
The
the
Bruce,
Bruce here. We've done quite a few shows at the Legion, the local Legion. But the big thing this year was we got our own stage. So we have a mobile stage and we can park that anywhere.
It's awesome. It's a 28-foot trailer and the one side folds down and you've got a 16 by 16 platform that is the stage.
Yeah, and we stuffed it full of lights and sound and
Yeah, it's customized to us, but
Mhm.
We've been using it a lot this summer. We've had a lot of great opportunities to use it, and it's just so nice to see some of our friends, like our local musician friends, also having the opportunity to use the stage that we have.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's an opportunity as well for me to practice my mixing chops for live music.
Yeah,
So, because it's you know, that's not my main focus, but I like to have
Yeah.
I like to wear a lot of hats.
yes, for sure.
That's definitely a nice little bonus.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it gives us the opportunity to practically play anywhere.
yeah.
So we do a songwriter series. Actually, tomorrow night we're doing August's edition of the songwriter series, and we do it on a local beach here. We take out the mobile stage, we set it up, we play for 3 hours. We do it to benefit a different charity each month.
And it's not us playing for 3 hours.
No.
We'll maybe do a few songs, but the rules are that the music has to be all original. So we're
Yeah.
not allowing any covers.
Mhm.
We have a feature artist that is not us every month, and it's a different featured artist. And there's a different charity that is benefited each month as well.
So that's been fun.
Yeah, and then aside from the feature artists, we have our other talented friends that just let us know that they're coming.
Yeah.
And we make sure that everyone has, you know, a solid opportunity to get up and do at least 3 or 4 songs, preferably, you know, more if we
Depending
can-
on
if
how
we
many
can swing
people
it.
sign up.
Yeah,
I mean, if we got 20 people signing up, then you get 2 songs, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been good so far. So we've raised a bit of money for different charities, and we've got 2 more to go this year, and we might expand it next year into different towns.
yeah.
Close by.
Along the shoreline, there's it's just a nice route, like along the shoreline. You get from this town to that town to that town, and a lot of them, of course, are beach towns. So it kind of makes sense to treat this summer as the pilot project on our station beach here in town, and then carry that to other beaches along the shoreline wherever we can.
Yeah,
So,
next summer maybe we'll do every Tuesday, but a different town.
yeah. Right
So
now we're just
4
doing
towns a
one.
month.
Right now,
Yeah.
we're just doing one town a month that's in Kincardine here.
Right on. You guys have a lot of really sick stuff coming up.
Yeah, there's no shortage of activity. We're very, very, very busy.
Mhm.
Yeah. We recently partnered with a charity here called Kids Help Phone. I don't know if you're
Yes.
familiar with Kids Help Phone,
No.
which is available for kids to call 24/7. It's a
Yeah, it's
mental health support initiative.
yeah.
And
For
so,
for kids that are struggling, they can call this 1-800 number and talk to a professional that has experience with
yeah, it's kids
anything
can
that,
call for
yeah.
any reason. And so we're putting together a show to present at schools. So that's going to be the big push for during the week during the school year. And hopefully we can get in front of a bunch of kids and help a bunch of kids and help a bunch of schools. And I mean, the advantage to us is we're getting to perform as well. So
Yeah, and our music, our originals are actually quite in alignment with Kids Help Phone and that whole just well, like our music is a lot about authenticity, accepting others, just kind of living your life. If you're going to go against the grain, do it, like, because it takes all kinds to make the world go round. And we also have songs about, healthy love versus unhealthy love and relationships. So, like I've been writing these songs for the last 5 years or so since we started in 2019. And I mean, I love just being kind of a positive voice in people's minds, but to take it one step further, I'm just surprised that it was my idea to try and get connected with Kids Help Phone,
Yeah.
but I'm just surprised I didn't think of it sooner, because it fits.
Yeah.
Really fits.
Right on. That's incredible. You guys have my respect.
Thank you.
So who would you say your biggest influences are?
Terry's biggest influence is me. That's what
Yeah.
that means. I'm just no. I love Alanis Morissette. I grew up really just listening to her a lot and singing along with her. But I also had other influences like the Spice Girls, like way back when, and Destiny's Child. And I got into all sorts of music though over the years, everything from pop punk to industrial to folk. I'd have to say, and like a little bit of metal, a little bit of hard rock, alternative rock, anything kind of under that umbrella. That's where my influences come from. But in terms of having one person, if I have to choose one performer, it would have to be Alanis Morissette. I really appreciated her album Jagged Little Pill, and Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie was an album that followed that I really enjoyed as well.
for me, it was more, oh God, it's well, my dad was a professional drummer back in England where I was born. So he was the first one that kind of lit the bug, and then my brother was really into music, my older brother. So I kind of listened. I remember sitting around listening to all sorts of different music with him, and that was in the mid '80s. So that was stuff like all the new wave stuff, like Depeche Mode and New Order and Tears for Fears and stuff like that. But he also had a love of rockabilly. That was when La Bamba came out, and the Stray Cats were huge, and he really went down a rabbit hole with that. So we were like listening to Buddy Holly and Elvis and Gene Vincent and all of those like 50s and 60s rockabilly. And then I met my one of my best friends, Mark Stanley, who I started a band with 20 odd years ago called Martian Rebel, and he was very much a 70s punk. So it was Teenage Head and Forgotten Rebels and The Clash and the Sex Pistols and the Ramones. Huge Ramones fan, but also Kiss and Priest and stuff like that, right? So we played a lot of covers of like 70s punk stuff. and a lot of the songs that we wrote were in that vein as well. And I really liked it. I mean, there were a couple of reasons. I mean, I picked up the bass for the first time with Mark, and a lot of those songs are really simple to play, so that made it real easy to build a set list, right? Yeah, all the songs are just root notes or whatever, or like a simple scale or whatever. And that really carried through. And then, you know, the whole 90s pop punk thing came up as well with Blink and Green Day and you know, Rancid and then later on, I mean, even now, like the Interrupters and like a lot of the ska punk stuff. I love ska punk.
Yeah, that's really fun.
These guys came in the 45s, good friends on the Stomp Records label, and just amazing performers and so much fun.
Very fun, very high energy.
Yeah, and you know, I think I take a little bit from everything, but I think the overall feel for me is it's got to be fun, and it's got to have that hook that kind of sticks in your head, so that people will be humming it for days afterwards and go, where the heck did that song come from? And then, oh yeah, that's Boiler Beach, right? Like we actually had good friends of ours. There's this duo out of London, Ontario called Ian BW. Young guys, 18 years old.
Check them
and
out.
phenomenal, like just amazing performers. And we've shared a stage with them a couple of times. And I got a voicemail from Ian saying, you know, I was cooking some steaks and I had this melody going through my head. I'm like, oh, that's an awesome melody. So I picked up my guitar and I started picking through it. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is going to make a great song. And then he's like, oh, wait a second, that's Boiler Beach. Right. So that was a huge compliment, right?
Definitely.
Like, okay, that got embedded in your head. That's fantastic. That's what we want to see happening.
Yeah, that's so cool. And our drummer, Mike, he's unavailable tonight. But I will answer the question for him because we get asked this question quite often, what our influences are. And he's a pop punk guy through and through.
100%.
He's all about Green Day, Blink-182, and the way he put it was at the time when that was coming out in the 90s, everyone around him was listening to like country and blues, and then, you know, out came Blink-182 and Green Day, and these were like, they were songs that were a little bit he always uses the word emo, but like they sound fun and happy and kind of energetic.
Silly,
like, as well as kind of emo. So, you know, that's what really drew him into pop punk in the 90s. So yeah, he's a punk drummer through and through. That's what he's kind of developed into since we started.
Yeah. So here's $1 million question for you guys. If you could tour with one of those bands, who would it be?
You know what? I'd probably say Green Day.
Yeah, they would be a lot of fun. We just saw them in Toronto.
We just saw them. Yeah, they came to Toronto. We just saw their show. All three of us went. Myself, Terry, and Mike.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just have such a respect for them. They've done so much, and it would just be so incredible even just to meet them.
Yeah, one of the things that I really like about Green Day, I mean, Blink's great.
Oh,
Blink are fantastic.
Definitely.
And Mike actually might say Blink because he's a huge Blink fan.
Yes, he is.
But between the two of them, I think that Green Day has more of a social conscience kind of feel, along with the whole goofy pop punk thing as well. Like, it's fun, but they have, like, I mean, you know, a lot of their songs are about having a social conscience. And I think it's super important to kind of balance that out. We have songs that are not about nothing but having a good time, but we have a lot of songs that are about, you know, being a good person, really.
Yeah, I think it would work pretty well.
Yeah,
I think we would fit pretty well with
So, Billy Joe, if you're listening, give us a call.
Please.
That would be incredible. Maybe one of these days, just keep grinding. You never know. Maybe you'll get hit up by, you know, their tour manager, or, you know, Billy Joe himself, or Trey Cool, or Mike Durnt.
You know what? We keep doing what we're doing. There's we have been surprised by people from far and wide that have said, "Hey, we really like what you're doing," and it's shocking. I mean, again, I've been doing this for many years, and you meet one or two people that are like, "Yeah, we dig your stuff," but for the last 5 years with Boiler Beach, I mean, we played a festival last summer, and this guy came up to me in the crowd, and I mean, I'd met him before at a previous show, and he's like, "I'm so glad you guys are playing here. I came to the festival just to see you guys." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I flew in from Vancouver yesterday." I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" Like, he flew from Vancouver to see us at this festival, and
That's
that just
wild.
blew my mind. I could not believe that he'd done that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, like, there's people in Australia and France and Germany and England, and like, it's like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's one of the advantages of social media, if you can use it properly and, respectfully and share, etc. But I mean, if you use it positively, you can meet people from anywhere.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a small world now.
Yeah.
Even smaller.
That's incredible.
It
That's really,
is.
really freaking cool.
I'm totally blown away every time. Every time. I can't believe that we have fans.
Yeah, it's kind of a surreal feeling. Just if somebody I'm really easy to spot in a crowd, obvious reasons. I'm a walking Muppet. But kind of look like a living Muppet. That's what his brother said at one point.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. That's all I can think of now when I get ready for a show. But yeah, when people see us, recognize us and stuff, and they get excited, like, or somebody yells from a car that's passing by while we're setting up, and they're like, "Boiler Beach!" Like, I'm like, do you know who that was? And he's like, "No." Do you? I'm like, "No." So it's really cool, kind of surreal to have fans, people that really like what we're doing, and I mean, it's genuine. It's really genuine when someone becomes a fan. That's, nobody's given them any incentive to become a fan. They just become a fan. And then you're like, hey, so what I'm doing matters. What I have to contribute matters. And that feels great. I mean, making music is fun, but when it means something, it's like it takes it from like it's fun to like, wow, like now we're doing something really, really cool.
Yeah.
Right on. That's amazing. So now I'm going to ask you guys some non-music questions. It's a good way for me to get to know you as people. I did this with the other bands. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, first one. If you guys could be fluent in another language instantly, what language?
Japanese.
Spanish. I love it. Spanish is beautiful. But you know what? Japanese is a good idea because I think we would do well in Japan. But we're, more on that later.
Can you guys say something in Spanish and Japanese?
Hi.
¿Dónde es el baño?
Better than me. What's your favorite drink?
Black coffee.
You know what? Coffee or tea? I'm such a we're not big drinkers, so we basically just stick with water and coffee and tea.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty boring that way.
Yeah, we're not militant about it or anything. It's just
it's just I don't know, if I'm at a bar, I tend to just ask for water or coffee.
Yep.
So I like to keep a clear head, especially when we're playing. I just feel like things would maybe get out of hand a little bit too much.
It's the playing, and then it's the packing up after, and then it's the 2-hour drive home.
Yeah.
Right?
Like it's work.
Hey, do you guys want to come to an after party? Yeah, we do. Pack up our stuff and we'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys pack up the van and trailer.
Yeah.
And yeah,
but
sure.
do it right.
But do it right.
Yeah.
It might take us a couple hours to get it all done, but we'll be there.
Yeah, you guys want to hang around until 3 a.m. until we're finished? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. right?
Yeah.
Right on. So if you guys go back in time and talk to one world leader or person of influence, who would it be?
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's a great question.
I would talk to John Diefenbaker. I know that's a weird, unusual reaction, right? But I would talk to John Diefenbaker and try to convince him to keep the Avro Arrow program alive.
Yeah.
No Canadian history.
Yeah. You know, I don't really have an answer for this one. I mean, if you ask Mike, he'd go back to fight Gandhi.
Yeah.
Uh, only so that he would be guaranteed to win.
Yeah.
That's his reasoning behind that. But I really wish Mike was here. It was
Yeah,
a lot of
the
fun.
story
He's
behind
lovely.
that is our first interview. One of the odd questions was if you could go back and fight anybody in history, who would it be? And Mike, without hesitation, was Gandhi.
Because he would win.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's Mike.
You know, I'll have to get back to you on that
Dead
question.
musicians
Maybe.
count. Dead musicians count as people of influence.
Musicians count as people of influence.
You know what? I think it would actually be really, really cool to be able to talk to Freddie Mercury.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you know what? Have a coffee with him, and like, just wow, he's got such a just a quite a story, and to hear more about it, I think would be so interesting.
Mm.
And
Just
as
like,
a
dude, like how can you freaking sing like that?
right, and but like writing like he did too. You know, there are many songs out there now. If you look at the song credits, you've got like 10 different songwriters credited for a single song, but Freddie was
The songwriter.
the
for
songwriter
much of that.
for a lot of it, right? So you know, that's just so cool to have that much creativity inside one brain.
Yeah.
Good choice. So if you guys had $1 million and you could donate it to any charity, which one?
Oh, that's tough because we
do a lot of charity
We spread
stuff.
it around a lot. Well, I have to go with my oldest affiliation. So for the last 20 plus years, I've supported Ride for Sight, which supports the Foundation Fighting Blindness, that does research into diseases and conditions that create vision loss. They've done a lot of great work over the last number of years. We've been very fortunate to be part of their celebrations and their fundraising efforts over the last few years. Ever since we started, actually, we've played their rally. We missed this year because we were already playing other events. That was just this past weekend. But yeah, that I would have to say Ride for Sight at this point.
Yeah. For me, probably the Canadian Mental Health Association.
Yeah.
If I had to give it all to one organization, I would, because there's it's getting worse and worse. I think the mental health crisis for many people, and there are so many factors at
Well, a lot
play.
of it is socioeconomic.
Oh, definitely.
If you don't know where your next meal is coming from or how you're going to pay your rent, that's going to affect your mental health, right?
Yeah. So just to have a really good, solid support system there, even more so than what it currently is. I think that would be really important.
Yeah. Yep.
That's amazing. All right, last question. What are some places in Kincardine that visitors should check out?
Go first.
Okay, so
Yes, your hometown.
it is my hometown. I grew up here. I left and then I came back because it's just an amazing spot. So we have a lighthouse on the harbor that you can go inside and check out. There's also a place called the Industry Room. They're a 1920s style Prohibition era speakeasy bar. And it actually happens to be inside of a museum too that holds a lot of Kincardin's history.
It's the oldest building in Kincardine.
It's the oldest building in Kincardine, that's right. And in Kincardine, we've got, I mean, there's the labyrinth.
The labyrinth.
The labyrinth is so pretty. It's
There's no Goblin King though.
no, but there's a labyrinth.
Thumbs down.
There's a labyrinth that you can do, and it's created with flowers in the summertime, so it's just really pretty. Victoria Park is wonderful. It's like my favorite park in town.
Every Monday, the Monday market.
Yeah, there's a market that goes on every Monday in the summer, but the number of trees in the park, it's the shade, the opportunities to just hang out in the shade. And there are great big cannons in the park too, which are kind of fun. Where else? I mean, Kincardin's kind of a small,
I would say the
town.
beaches.
and oh yeah, definitely. the
So-
beaches, yeah.
I mean, we're a lakeside town. We're right on the shore of Lake Huron. When you stand on the beach at night or at sunset, you're watching the sunset over the lake. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot.
You can see that too from the Bruce.
You can see it from the Bruce.
The Bruce is a restaurant. They have a
Huge
patio out back, and you can see the lighthouse and the harbor and the sunset. It's
And-
just gorgeous.
And I mean, we're named after one of the beaches.
Yes, Boiler Beach is an
Boiler
actual
Beach.
place here. And it has a boiler, surprise, from an old ship that
Exploded.
exploded. So the only thing left of the ship is the boiler, and it's in the water. And it's like it's half sticking out and half underneath, depending on the level of the water
Mhm.
at the time of year.
That's incredible. So when I get up there to visit you guys, you can take me to all the spots.
Come out anytime. We got space.
Anytime.
No worries.
Yeah,
Come hang out.
definitely.
Spend a week. We'll
Yes.
go all over the place.
We'll spoil
I'm
you.
trying to
Yeah.
do my rounds, see all the
It'll be
music
It'll
homies.
be fun. Yeah.
No, we'll spoil you.
We'll make you carry gear though.
I don't know if I could do that. No, I'm just kidding.
We don't have any
I
animals.
got you.
We go direct.
I'll carry the big cabs. I'll carry them up the stairs.
There you go. There you
Alright.
go. You're hired.
Just trying to do the Lord's work. That's all.
There you go. Yeah. For sure.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on, and the support means the world to me.
Well, you know what? You're doing great things for the music community. I mean, half of the challenge for musicians is being heard, getting out there so that more and more people hear what we're doing, and you know can make the choice to enjoy that and to share it with others. It's becoming harder and harder to actually get out and play because venues don't have the money to pay and it's expensive to just put gas in the van and get going, right? So I mean, the more that can be done in communities online and across the world, it's a real advantage to musicians. So I take my hat off to you.
Yeah, and thank you as well for having us to do this interview with you. It's a bit of cross promotion, right? Like we enjoy talking to you, and we will share this everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I can't do it without you guys. So really, really appreciate it. So for the people that are gonna watch this interview later, where can they find your music at?
Boilerbeach.ca.
Also, indietunes.com. So indietunz.com. And there's close to 40 different independent music acts on the IndieTunes label right now. And you can go on the website, you can listen to songs for free. And you also have the opportunity to own the music as well. You can download and purchase the tracks that you like as well. And that all goes to help it goes to help the bands, goes towards the bands. So indietunes.com is a great resource.
For sure.
IndieTunes also publishes us to every streaming service, so we are everywhere. We've got Deezer and iTunes and Amazon, as well as your Spotify and so on, right? And of course, we're on Bandcamp and we're on YouTube and we're everywhere.
And I would encourage people to look here, there, and everywhere, because there's a good chance they'll find something that's not available everywhere.
That's right, because it's like, how do you keep track of everything that you're putting out?
Yeah.
We're really accessible online. Facebook is our preferred platform, but we do have Instagram and TikTok and X, etc. We're looking into maybe doing a Snapchat. We have an OnlyFans account that we haven't posted anything to yet, but we do have an OnlyFans account.
Because why not?
Because why not? Well, I don't want anybody else.
YOLO, you only live once.
Right? You don't want somebody else going on OnlyFans and being Boiler Beach, right?
Yeah, no,
Like,
that would
geez.
not be good.
So yeah, maybe it's just all, toes in the sand pics. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Gotta fund the process somehow.
It's gonna be your feet, isn't it?
It's gonna be
Yeah.
my nasty gross feet. Yeah. There's a market for everything.
Whatever floats your boat.
Exactly. Somebody wants to pay the money.
I mean, there's people out there that
That's right.
that will. So
Yeah.
just
Well,
saying.
I don't judge. Everybody's money spends.
You're awesome.
I know.
I love this guy so much. So funny.
Life's too short, man.
It is. It really is.
Well, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and we'll chat soon.
Thanks
Sounds
so
good.
much, Dave. And you know what? In all seriousness, do come up at some point. Let us know when you're coming. There's always a space here for you,
Yeah,
brother.
we're very accommodating people.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm pretty chill, pretty laid back, and not very it's not like you guys would have to do a whole lot for me. I'm very I can sleep anywhere, and I can sleep on dirty floors. I can sleep on dirty stages. I can sleep in
There's none of
vans.
that
So
here,
yeah, I'm
buddy.
not super duper picky.
There's none of that here. You'd be 5-star all the way.
Totally.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Well, I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll chat soon.
Take care,
Sounds
Dave.
good.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.